This is Informer News, your voice of the people. Timeline is Sunday the 3rd of November 2013. Welcome along, my friends, to another edition of Informer News. Coming up in this week's broadcast, a highly secret report originating from a whistleblower who wishes to remain anonymous, warning us all of a deadly solar event that will kill billions. Plus, tornado strikes the UK. Also, Columbus, warning from the past of a cataclysmic destruction that will affect the Earth very soon. And could the kill shot Ed Dames warned us about be about to become a reality? Okay, into this week's news. This first report originates from bbc.co.uk, titled "Hailing Island Properties Hit by Tornado," and posted on 20th of October 2013. About 100 homes have been damaged by a tornado on Hailing Island in Hampshire, police have said. Haven Council said properties in Blackthorn Road and Ilex Walk were damaged by high winds at about 800 hours British summertime. The council said there was no reported injuries and its officers were assessing the damage to properties. Eyewitnesses Kayla Kilshaw Lane, who was staying on the island overnight, described the experience as horrendous. Hampshire Constabulary has received calls regarding damaged vehicles, power lines and beach huts. Highway teams are currently cleaning up debris around the area. Eyewitness Marcus Hunt said, "My wife and I watched the swirl of sea water and rain come across the sea and hit land in front of our house on Hailing seafront. The sky was extremely black and there was lots of squalls, and then the tornado whipped up. It must have been 30 foot to 40 foot across. We saw it pick lots of spray and shingle off the beach." Tony Hunt from Guildford, Surrey, said he discovered his beach hut on the island had been shunted 6 foot 6 inches across the beach. Caravans flipped over, the roof was ripped off and parts of it were found 400 metres, that's 1,300 feet away, on the other side of the road. He said, "We drove down to survey the damage and were quite shocked by what we saw. The neighbouring hut was lifted too." Miss Kilshaw Lane said, "There was this horrendous crashing sound, the dogs were barking, so I went to the window and looked out, and this huge tree just landed on top of my parents' car." This following report originates from gma.yahoo.com, titled "Sea Serpent Washes Up in California" by Liz Fields. Good Morning America, Saturday, October the 19th, 2013. If good things come in pairs, the discovery of another giant, nearly mystical sea creature, beachgoers who early Friday evening happened across the second so-called discovery of a lifetime in less than a week. The 13.5 foot long oilfish, which washed up on a beach in Oceanside Harbor, California, is the second of the rarely sea creatures to be found in a matter of days. It's so rare to find in Southern California, especially in surface water, Susan Coyne of National Marine Fisheries Service said. They thought it was a very rare event the first time, so these two events that we heard of in the last 2 weeks are the only ones I've ever heard of. The first discovery was made by snorkeling marine scientists who wrestled a dead 18-foot monster with help to shore near Catalina last Sunday. I was thinking, I have no idea what that is, and like it looks like a snake, but it kind of looks like a giant eel, said onlooker Alexander Boyle, who was one of a class of 3rd graders on a beach trip when the newest oilfish was found. This report originates from Calateria.com, titled "About the Planet Columbus." Planet Columbus, so called by the sagas of antiquity, is a gigantic world 5 or 6 times larger than Jupiter. In the past ended the Atlantean civilization that is approaching the Earth again. Columbus put an end to the Atlantean civilization. These facts, well known to all those beings who in the course of history enjoyed awakened consciousness, are duly related through all their universal floods of different religions and cultures. In this current visit, the progressive approach of Her Columbus will cause all kinds of volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tidal waves, which will be increasingly frequent and intense, and concluding with total devastation. When Her Columbus passed close to the Earth, its gravitational pull huge draw molten magma to the surface and increased dramatically in number in the intensity of earthquakes, tsunamis and volcanic eruptions. The approach of Her Columbus is a fact that will have profound campus on our planet. In celestial mechanics, Her Columbus helped upright the pole. He is part of the big machine. This following top secret report originates from a whistleblower that wishes to remain anonymous. The source states, "I've heard of the name Her Columbus before. It's indeed the same object that I got to read about. Why NASA apparently calls it Marduk, I don't know. Fact is, this thing is coming. I was also told that because of Nibiru and its devastating effects, they took drastic measures and plans in December of 2009 as Obama and all world leaders met up at the Rosenberg Hotel in Copenhagen. Anyway, they also had a secret meeting behind closed doors to discuss the LWG, leading world government. Oh yes, this is the New World Order. Now, knowing that all countries on Earth will be on their knees as Nibiru flattens us, if you believe this or not, all countries gave up their military sovereignty, even the UK. There will be one world government, one world military, all governed by the UN. This informer told me the new currency will be the UFSN, United Forces Service Note. He said he saw a massive haul with these notes wrapped in cling foil on Euro pallets. He said it looks like monopoly money and was told to keep his mouth shut about what he had seen. He explained to me this money will make all troops dependent solely with this currency, i.e. no bartering, no making deals with civilians, and with the UFSN they can't get back home from their postings. The dollar, pound, euro, etc. will be rendered useless by the events. You will have Ukrainian troops in Scotland. Around your area there will be German combined with British soldiers. In the Midland and southern England there will be French soldiers patrolling the streets. Looters will be shot on sight, and the UK has no FEMA camp-like facilities. There are no plans to feed the population. There will be just martial law. Slave labour will be induced. 30% of able bodies over 50 years of age will also have to do forced labour, and even traffic wardens will be given police powers. Stay well clear of military forces. I got in 2010 with diagrams regarding Nibiru. It's 3 years old but still valid. Now have their own leading professor. I can't say his name. Anyway, they have the true answers directly from NASA. Intranet, not internet, which is sent over satellites and is descrambled by GCHQ in Gloucestershire. NASA call Nibiru Marduk. It has a massive moon following it called K271. Nobody knows this. The speed of Marduk was miscalculated by a factor of 0.8%. Now what I read wasn't just the problem Marduk will cause. Marduk, in combination with a synchronization of the planets with the galactic equator, will cause a terrible gravitational wave. And yes, I'm afraid you're right, crustal displacement, geological pole shift. The duration will be 6 days. After this, we will have had a 20-degree shift. The equator will apparently be running through South Africa. The gravitational wave will also cause the sun to flare up, and a series of killer solar flares will hit Earth. Something I read that made me shudder was that possibly all human, animal and vegetable life could be wiped out. They said nothing about the 3,600-year cycle when Nibiru Marduk comes. I read the last time this combination happened, Marduk and the planetary synchronization, was for 65 million years in the Jurassic period, which wiped the dinosaurs out. It wasn't an asteroid that hit Earth. One thing that I can't understand is the time frame for 2012, for the 25th of December until the 21st of January. They gave a critical code black. Black is a military code for red alert. Now 2012 is this year. Astrologically, NASA knows this. There was no galactic equinox on the 21st of December last year. It'll be this year. They wrote 2 degrees magnetic force, whatever that means, upper plate shift, landslides, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, tidal variations, change in thermal currents, floods and tsunamis, but nothing of a sudden geological pole shift. The code black timeline is apparently 6 days. What I read says it won't be a sudden sloshing of the oceans. The real destruction will come from a series of solar flares that will even burn the vegetation. A policy of know and must not know. This info is unknown to troops. There isn't even precautions of shielding for them against the UV gamma rays. They won't be put in bunkers and there will be terrible losses. Truth is, they are pretty helpless in this magnitude of destruction. I read about the duration of the complete event. It stated timescale unknown. Could be days, months or years. Truth is, they don't really know. It's never happened before in our timeline. So to summarise what I wrote, the event will be terrifying, but it'll be the solar flares as the ultimate killer. I saw no indication that the UK will be covered in water. As I said, it isn't the tsunamis that'll break us. Holland will be overrun with water because they're 20 metres below sea level, not the UK. It'll be a gradual sloshing and flooding, 6 to 7 days as I said. There will be earthquakes in the UK, something they have never experienced before. I read static plates, 5.5 degrees variation required to activate. Europe, Scandinavia, North Atlantic plates, USA Central and East Canada, Antarctic plates. We are more than in this parameter. They said that Earth will realign to its normal state in 4 years after the pole shift. If the UK should be submerged in water, I would have read it. A gradual pole shift won't submerge everything. Don't believe this rubbish about a 180-minute flip of Earth's crust. This won't happen. I was told in 2009 when the Brits will leave Afghanistan and Iraq to the day, and they left exactly as they said. They have always got it right, and I trust this info blindly. I told you before, and I'll say it again, the sun is our disaster. Nibiru, in a combination with an alignment of the galactic centre of the universe, is an extinction level event, and that's what is coming our way. Well, I'm coming to the end of the knowledge I have. I was given so much info to get me on the safe side, and that was it. A pipeline of info would have been too dangerous for the informer. Nothing can be downloaded, as they have a tracking system. So I had handwritten notes in drips and drabs, if you know what I mean. Here's the last bit of info I have. Into 2014, 1 in 4 people have been calculated to perish in natural disasters. Priorities are 1. Medical personnel, fire and rescue, scientists, 2. Intelligence, diplomats, service personnel, engineers and construction, 3. Politicians and banking. They have no plans for the rescue of civilians. There will be no soup kitchens or medical help whatsoever. This is how the UN have planned the roles of the nations. The UK have taken no action other than plans for civil disorder and the implementation of martial law. Australasia are preparing for multiple medical illnesses caused by solar radiation. Europe are concentrating on the supply, storage, transportation and the distribution of food supplies. USA are concentrating on 2 fronts, the collection and disposal of human bodies and the containment of mass hysteria. All in all, they have plans, but they are only hypothetical, as this event is too big to manage. That's all I have, and don't trust anyone who says he has all the answers. The source of this top secret information, a whistleblower, wants to remain anonymous. This report originates from wadevender.wordpress.com, posted by Wade Vender, titled Archive for the Kill Shot category. The Kill Shot, Gateway to Oblivion. This is the event that changes it all, the event that will be the tipping point for Earth and all of its inhabitants. It will be reminiscent of the Carrington event of 1859, named after the astronomer who observed it, Richard C. Carrington. This was a massive CME that made a direct hit on planet Earth, and it is said that if this same event were to happen today, it would destroy modern civilization by frying all our technological hardware. Back then the effect was lessened due to the fact that modern circuitry was yet years in the making, but it did produce the largest geomagnetic storm ever recorded. The auroral displays were said to be stunning, and telegraph pylons even threw sparks. Some telegraph systems continued to send and receive messages despite having been disconnected from their power supplies. Wiki. Here's what a documentary on YouTube about the Ed Dames killshot event had to say. Remote viewers saw a series of solar flares that are so powerful they penetrated into Earth's atmosphere, destroying global communications and heating up regions of the world to such an extreme that it would cause the deaths of billions. Our star, man's source of life, would now become our greatest enemy. The end. Remote viewing predictions. Major Ed Dames, the killshot effect, and these will come and go, but the massive damage, first of all, will be to communications. Communication satellites, military satellites as well, will go down. These things will be fried. Anybody in space, whether you're inside the little leaded shield on the space station or not, you're fried. You're in bad shape. You're going to die. Power grids, power grids. When they go down, folks, when the sun takes the power grids down, it's done it before. This time they won't go back up. It will be months and months, if not years, to get power grids back up and running. There's going to be no power. So there's a lot of planning to do, folks. I would encourage you to start now, if not yesterday. I also want to point out that there's going to be unprecedented geophysical events when this killshot sequence starts. Earth can only take so much of protons hitting its magnetosphere, and on top of that you're going to have X-rays that will be at Earth in 10 minutes. Right now we don't know how powerful those X-rays will be, but we do know that those protons will be extremely powerful. That mass from the sun, so you're looking at anywhere from 24 to 48 hours before that CME actually impinges upon Earth's atmosphere and begins to heat it up. When the heating up occurs, that's when the power grids begin to go down. The world will go dark, vehicles with their circuits fried will cease to run, goods will cease to be transported, then hunger, thirst and rioting will ensure. Welcome to Armageddon. For the full transcript, go to my website, endtimes23.com, where I've posted the link. Okay, my friends, you're all invited to join this channel by subscribing to endtimes23, which is a totally free subscription service. You're also invited to have me as a friend on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, or drop me a line on my blog. All the links are under this video, my friends. All this week's news links can be found on my website, endtimes23.com. The link is under this video. Just click on the link and go to the top left hand corner of the opening page and click on Informer News links. You will find all this week's news links at the top of the page under this week's title video. Well, that's your lot for this week, my friends. I do hope you've enjoyed the show. I'll be back with you in a week's time with another edition of Cosmic News. So until then, this is your Informer signing off. Friends, I'll see you on the flip side. This is Informer News, your voice of the people. Timeline is Sunday the 3rd of November 2013. Welcome along, my friends. Injuries and its officers were assessing the damage to properties. Eyewitnesses Kayla Kilshaw Lane, who was staying on the island overnight, described the experience as horrendous. Hampshire Constabulary has received calls regarding damaged vehicles, power lines and beach huts. Highway teams are currently cleaning up debris around the area. Eyewitness Marcus Hunt said, "My wife and I watched a swirl of sea water and rain come across the sea and hit land in front of our house," on hailing to another edition of Informer News. Coming up in this week's broadcast, a highly secret report originating from a whistleblower who wishes to remain anonymous, warning us all of a deadly solar event that will kill billions. Plus, tornado strikes the UK. Also, Columbus, warning from the past of a cataclysmic destruction that will affect the Earth very soon. And could the kill shot Ed Dames warned us about be about to become a reality? Okay, into this week's news seafront. The sky was extremely black and there was lots of squalls, and then the tornado whipped up. It must have been 30 foot to 40 foot across. We saw it pick lots of spray and shingle off the beach. Tony Hunt from Guildford, Surrey, said he discovered his beach hut on the island had been shunted 6 foot 6 inches across the beach. Caravans flipped over, the roof was ripped off and parts of it were found 400 metres, that's 1,300 feet away, on the news. This first report originates from bbc.co.uk, titled "Hailing Island Properties Hit by Tornado," and posted on 20th of October 2013. About 100 homes have been damaged by a tornado on Hailing Island in Hampshire, police have said. Haven Council said properties in Blackthorn Road and Ilex Walk were damaged by high winds at about 800 hours British summertime. The council said there was no reported